start over because I know some of you, unlike me, speak only English and could probably not follow my Italian. Should we start the scroll again? Give you some time? Or not? Please imagine a princess. Don't try to be inventive. It's better if you're not. We want an icon, not a person. Stay with whatever image enters your mind when you say, silently, fairy tale princess. Now, there will, of course, be variations, though I suspect there will be certain similarities as well. She probably has long, lustrous hair. Well, she's beautiful, of course, but in a rather conventional way. She's not one of those fierce, defiant beauties with strong noses or savage, penetrating eyes. She's beautiful the way a baby is beautiful. Like a baby's, her beauty is miniaturized, nascent and unintentional. She wears maidenly gowns that bespeak wealth, but not fecundity or ripeness. She floats rather than walks, as if propelled by an invisible slick of gently moving water. She may be girlishly rebellious, but there's no trace in her of outrage or sorrow or despair. When she isn't happy, she's wistful rather than miserable. Her hands are too small to hold an orange. What then is her story? Now, we can tell it in any number of ways, but all of them must involve adversity. A princess unchallenged will not produce any story at all. She'll merely float through palace chambers, appear at balls, admire the roses twined over her windowsill. Stories demand a reversal of fortune. So, we could say she's been banished by a jealous stepmother and gone to live in the forest. We could say she's being badgered by a talking frog who insists that a kiss planted upon his cold green lips will transform him into a prince. We could say she's been reduced to poverty and servitude, from which she is released by the magical granting of one night at a royal ball. A stroke of fortune that comes, unfortunately, with a stern limit. She must leave the ball by midnight, just as the fun begins. Whichever course we choose for our princess, the particulars don't matter all that much. She's delivered, in the end, by a prince. If she's a question, the prince is the answer. The redeeming prince's beauty is much like the princess's. He, too, is immaculate. His face and body are innocent of exceptional qualities. He's remarkable mainly in his symmetry. He is slightly feminine in the way of certain pretty adolescent boys on the verge of their deepenings and darkenings, but still possessed for a final few months of their childish sentimentality, their pre-hormonal desire to be purely and simply good. This is not to say that the prince is effeminate. He's brave and capable. He can cut a playing card in half in midair. He can triumph over adversity, cut his way through walls of thorns, search entire kingdoms for a girl he's met only once. He's heroic. But although fully grown, he's not a potent, lust-driven man. We might think of him as a male Joan of Arc, driven by love for a princess instead of devotion to God. So the princess is delivered from her trials and goes off with the prince to his castle, which we see as a turreted golden shape, a dream of a castle hovering on the horizon. We don't witness the prince and princess's arrival. We only see them embark on the road that leads to the castle gates. So we're left to imagine the cobbled courtyards, the drapes and tapestries and ancestral portraits, which is as it should be.